Welcome back to the channel. On today's video, I'm going to be fitting a vertical radiator on this wall here. And I'm going to show you my way of doing things. And if you can remember from a previous video, we actually put the first fixed pipes in. So we fitted a towel rail, removed some radiators, and also connected on these pipes here ready to go. So on this side, we just have to connect from the valves onto our tail ends. But these vertical radiators can be a bit of a pickle. You have only specific areas where you're hanging the brackets. So this is just my way of doing things. We'll make the valves in properly, but I've just screwed these in temporary, so the valve tails are inside. You push the valve on, and then what I like to do is actually fit some copper tails in. So we're going to give ourselves a little bit of fail-safe space, what I like to call. So for height distance, if we get it slightly wrong, we've got a little bit of pipework to play with instead of working too tight. And we've got the bracket on, so what we're going to have to do now is just hover up a straight edge, and then we can just measure. I just get a tape measure. We can just measure the center of the pipe, which is about here, to our straight edge. And that is about 290. And then all we have to do is transfer those measurements on the wall. Try not to mark it up too much. Going to be using some laser levels to get that sorted. And then we should be able to drill. Now this wall has been replastered, re-rendered, repainted. So hopefully we've got decent fixings, as these full-size column rads can be quite heavy. So let's put you down, let's get plumbing. So we'll just get our centre mark first between our pipes, and then we should be able to position our rad. So we've got 15.5 inches, so that's 7 3/4. And just a little double check. Yep. And then we just set up our laser up on the vertical, and that's a good reference point for us. So we know our centre mark is here, and I've just marked it on the radiator. And what we want to do is measure the distance between the brackets. So we'll go in the middle. So obviously we've got one here, and that is about 5 1/4 inches. So we'll just set our laser level up to 290 off the centre of the pipe, and that is about here-ish. Nice little mark. Perfect. And we'll just get that 5 1/4 on the wall. And this should be the height of our brackets and the position from left to right. So just mark our drill holes. Okay, so I've just watched the old video back, and the pipes are quite close to where we're going to be drilling here. I have took a measurement, it is close, but let's just drill real carefully and hopefully we miss these pipes in the wall. Now I drilled really carefully. I really don't want to hit a cold water pipe or a hot water pipe in there after this has all been done. So I think we're pretty good. I thought we would have got jetted, to be honest. So if you didn't know why we knock the wall plugs back, is because when this expands, it doesn't expand on the plaster, so it stops it from blowing up. Always get them back a little bit, especially if you're doing tiles. So that's the first one done. We'll just quickly do the next one. And we'll just double check. Perfect. So I've just noticed something. Hopefully you've noticed it first. And when I moved my laser level up to the correct height, it's actually moved it off center. Now I'm pretty lucky with these brackets, as I can basically move them left to right about this much. On the other radiators where you've got singles going up on the top of the columns, you don't have that movement. So always make sure you don't do what I've done and move your laser out of the way. So with the bottom brackets on the wall, what I've done for the top ones is I've put one on the bottom, wedged up with a spanner, and one on the top. And now we could just measure the distance between the tops and then transfer it again onto the wall. And it's 140 centimeters. So I don't know if you noticed when I screwed the brackets up, but at orientation you can see these sides. So there's one that side, and unfortunately there's one on the closest side. Now the reason why they were positioned like that way was because when I was marking this one, I knew that these pipes were close, so I wanted the screws as far away to the left as possible. If I flipped it the other way, I would have pushed my screws further closest towards those pipes, and to me, I think that is more damaging and potential risk than having these. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lift the radiator back off, and then I'm going to change those screws for little cover caps. So it should hide them a little bit better. There we go. That looks much better. Could do it for all of them, but I would rather the metal washers holding all the brackets on securely. Just one of them, I can sort of let that go. And yeah, that should be fine. So just rehang the rod and then get on with the valves. So for the radiator tails, I'm going to be using a product called Gripper Lock from X-Pro, and it is just a liquid thread locker. So it just makes the job look 10 times cleaner rather than PTFE everywhere. So what I like to do is get enough on there and spread it with my finger, get it into all the threads, and then any excess, you can just stick it into the threads of the female. And I've already pre-pasted my olive inside my compression fitting. Because our copper's already loose in the wall, what we can do is hover up our scrap piece and then mark him. So he's about here, and then we'll cut him off. So that's the radiator all done, both sides all soldered up lovely. I'm using some different flux, and yeah, it went for like a bit of a fireball for some weird reason. So yeah, right now all that's left to do is just connect up our two ends, and I'm probably just going to do across here and up with one square bend, tuck them to the side, and then this one is going to be two bends. So we've got one 90 degree that way, and then probably a 90 degree up, and then we'll get them on two elbows. So space is a little bit tight in there. We'll just do the first one because he's pretty easy. He's just a 90 degree. There's that one. Did anybody see a solder drip? Right, let's get on with the last one, and that is a double bend up onto a elbow. So just put a scrap piece of copper in for reference, and then I'll hover up this piece of pipe up to here. Hold them as square as possible, and then we'll give them a mark center line. So you might have seen me do this before, but to bend him exactly where you want him, you need to measure 70 mils back. So just measure 70, and then we'll mark it all the way around the pipe because we'll be turning it around, and then that should sit right after this arm. So we'll put it in this way, and you want it right about there like that. So make sure we get it around the right way. So if we go in that way and we want to bend him up, quick square off. And that should be perfect. Look at that. It's a bit flamey, this flux. I've not tried it before. I can't even remember its name. Copper something? It flows good, but I don't really like that burn. You're close to a wall and stuff like that. I'm going to get a drip here. Oh, here we go. That it. It's under a bath. So just do up these valves. And I have actually switched out my paste for an American brand. So you might have seen it before, but this is like Blue Monster. So I filled my fluctuator up with one of these, and yeah, it is quite blue. It probably will stain things if you get it on surfaces and stuff, so you're probably going to have to be careful with that. But I thought I'd just try it out, because I know a lot of the Americans use it, and it is very, very waterproof, so they can use it on tapered joints, I'm pretty sure, and just do them up. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be good enough for my olives. Okay, we'll just make sure our drain point is tight. I'll turn the valves on. And that's the good sound we want to hear, completely silent. Oh, there we go. Oh, perfect. I didn't take it on. Can't be much surface area to them, is it? It's only single panel. Right, let's just turn on the boiler and give it a good heat test. So just give him a little bit of time, and using my imaging camera, we can see that he's getting lovely and hot all the way up to the top, and he should slowly make his way all the way around, heating it up evenly. So yeah, that's this job all squared away. Underneath the bath where the heating pipes are, I'm just going to leave that little bit of wood in there, propping them up, why not? But yeah, no leaks, all good. We can isolate it, and we can also drain it. So that's this job all done. So if you liked today's plumbing video, please give it a like, drop a comment down below, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you on the next one.